Hello everybody. Today we are going to create a Google Maps link directly inside your SuiteCRM system from a workflow using the address. Okay, so let's go. There are a couple of business cases where you want to have a simple link that you can click on in order to pull up an address directly on a map, maybe for routing, for navigation, for distance calculation and stuff like this. Okay, so how would we do this here inside our SuiteCRM system? The first thing that I see, we've got an address, so therefore that's already good. We could use this potentially. And what we're missing is a link to, let's say, Google Maps. So let's first create a link field, and I stay here with the account, and I would pull up my admin area. And here inside the admin area, I would go to the studio. And remember, we've been in the account, so therefore I would simply create one field inside accounts. And important, it needs to be a URL field. So we would select this one here, and then we can call it link to map or maps link or maps URL or similar. So whichever you want to call it. Then here we've got a couple of specific options or features around the URL field. We can pre-generate it. It's a bit more tricky and it might not be working here as easily because we need calculated fields and we have like multiple details that we need to pay attention to here. So therefore I would skip this. Then I would like to add this or like open it in a new window. And the rest should be all fine. I don't want to audit it. I don't want to require it. And yeah, I think that's good for now. I don't need to do much more here. One more thing that I want to do is, of course, I want to place that link somewhere so that I can see this. I can click on it. Let's sync to the detail view in order to have those in sync, just in case in SuiteCRM 8 in the new version it will be separated again. But as you can see here, we've got two streets or two addresses, so Billing Street and Shipping Street. This is a grouped field, so it's a bit special here. As you can see, Billing Street, if I place this group here, I can see the whole group, and this group is displayed in a nice way. So if you have to split it up for whichever reason, maybe you want to have the states and there should be a drop down or a text field, and then you would need to split this up, place the individual fields here on the layout, and then you don't have this nice group anymore. Technically it works either way, just want to mention this. And for many projects we don't need a shipping address, so shipping address might be more interesting in e-commerce situations. And additionally, you could have multiple shipping addresses, not only this one here. So many projects don't use this, and therefore I would go ahead and remove this shipping address or this shipping street field. And then I would add the maps link directly here beside the billing street or the billing address field group. Click on save and deploy. That's so much it here already. And then I would be able to see this here in the front end. So very nice. We've got a link already. So there's nothing special, just a field to enter. So how would we enter this? Let's give it a try. So first of all, let's test this out. So if you copy here this demo data address, it's important if you're working with the demo data, not all addresses are real. So they're randomly generated. You might be lucky to find one which works just like this one. So here we have a Maple Street, and as you can see, we would have the option to put this directly here inside or into our URL. And here Google Maps is incredibly forgiving, so we can throw plenty of things at it. Let's see whether this works or whether we need to change anything. But as you can see, if I just put this one into Google Maps, it's already working, or it seems to be working. So what I can do then is basically remove all the other variables, parameters, and so on that I don't need. And I can see this data here at the very end is coming from my record. And this data should always be the same. So I can copy this one and automatically put it into my record on a workflow. Therefore, we're going to create a workflow now. So the workflow manager is here at the very bottom. Here, I would go and create a new workflow. So we can call this workflow something like add Google Maps link, because this is just what it does. Here, I would select accounts. When do I want to run it? Only on save. So if I update anything, maybe the address fields or whatever, then I want to recalculate this. On all records, your new modified would be fine. In case the address changes, I should use repeated runs. Since it's only on save, yeah, okay, should be good, should be fine. Run on import, depends on you. So are you planning an import? Should it be automatically there after you're importing data? Then yeah, you would do this. So conditions, what's important here? As you can remember, we have our basically the street, maybe the postal code and the city here. And we want to make sure that these are not empty. So therefore we can start with building street. And here I want to say it's either any change or if it's not equal to an empty value. So here you need to be careful as well. It should not be empty to an equal value, otherwise you click on it and it doesn't work if you click on the link. On the other hand, if it's an empty value in the street and you have a postal code in the city and maybe a country already filled up, and then it would still show up at least in the city. So therefore, you have to check your specific case and how you want to handle this one. So here we'd simply do not equal to, and then I would add maybe the city as well, not equal to, and we could add a country as well. Let's check whether we have the country. So if you filled it out initially and always, and then yeah, why not? It helps to identify it easier. So it makes it easy for any software, for Google Maps, for OpenStreetMaps or whatever, to identify this one. So if we have those 4 information points, and then we could do the following. I would like to use calculated fields. Here I'm adding a couple of parameters now. So let's start with a street, and I add this as parameter 0. Then we've got the city. Add this as parameter 1, and then we've got the postal code, parameter 2, and you could add country, which makes it a bit easier for any software to calculate where you actually are located or where the address is located. Additionally, what I like to do is I like to copy this one here. In case your whole workflow is about this one individual action, then it's probably the same name for this action and the workflow to make it simple. Now, what do we want to calculate? We want to calculate add a formula for the maps link. So we've got the field maps link, and now we have to add a formula. And the formula is fairly simple. You can do some slice and dicing, some replacement, but as I mentioned before, here Google Maps is incredibly forgiving. So I could give it a try and just add my parameters, maybe separate them by a comma. So here, even the order doesn't matter as much. So you would just add those here and add parameter 3 for the country at the very end. So that's already good enough. Let's save the workflow and see what's happening. So here I would now go ahead and change anything, doesn't matter. And now for a change, if I have those fields here filled in, and then I should already see something here inside my maps link. And it could be that it's not always completely filled, but this looks good so far. And now I would click on it and see whether Google finds the location of the account. And as you can see, that looks quite promising. So here we are in Maple Street in Denver, and yeah, we're right there, and we could use route planning, or we could use like a distance calculation or whatever. But as you can see, it's fairly simple in case the remote API or the remote software is really handling all or almost everything that you throw at it. So of course it still depends on your data. Make sure that your data is properly filled, it's validated and correct. And then, as you can see, it works well. If I just switch around to other accounts, it doesn't work as well because here the data is just not validated, doesn't exist, because it's a random generated demo data, and therefore not all streets exist in this in those postal codes or something. So therefore it's really important that you keep the data validated, that you keep your data correct. But I assume if you're working with your real life data, then usually you would have the correct data inside your CRM system. That's it. It was fairly simple. We have a clickable link and we can easily use it for our field services to operate on the go with the mobile view of SuiteCRM, or like even internally if you want to calculate some distance or whatever, and specific routes about some planning, some whatever you have as a business case. That's all for this video. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time. Bye.